let's dive into this bad boy. First things first. Let's talk about Baltimore and Detroit from yesterday, man. Baltimore, Detroit. You see that game?
I did.
Yeah, what you think?
Detroit's nice.
They are.
Detroit is a solid football team, but they've been solid for the past couple of years under Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing some good things. So it's just they're not surprising what they did to me, right? But I'll highlight a couple players. David Montgomery went absolutely off, but he's been a dog for them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you see somebody progressively get better and better and better, and that's what we've seen from him, even from Chicago days. Like he's every year gotten better.
Yes.
He had a couple big critical runs yesterday. I mean, they're 72-yarder, and then at the end of the game, but he's just a bruiser.
Yeah,
and when your defense is tired because you can't quite, it's already fourth quarter, and when your defense is tired because the offense is trying to put something together, but the defense has their number, they can't quite figure it out. It's a lot of 3 and outs. The chains ain't moving that much. Then you get a quick turnover on a fumble. Like that defense is exhausted, and David Montgomery's a load.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, and when the defense, you know what I'm saying? He's a load. And come fourth quarter, man, you get tired of attacking that big old body.
Yes.
And that's when you start seeing them long runs. That's when we used to see out Derrick Henry, right? When they would actually use him, and he'd wear down the defense. And then come fourth quarter is when he started breaking out. Bam.
Yes.
Bam. Why he had those consistent, close to 2,000-yard seasons. Because toward the back end, second half is when he really wear out that defense. But I don't know. Amon-Ra looked good as usual. Jameson Williams, they was using him early. I think that was smart. Get the speed going, get the defense on their toes. The Ravens got to figure out a way to win these games. I mean, we've seen them be competitive a lot, but the dubs in the critical moments is kind of what we're waiting on to pull it out. And I was rooting for them, and I think they played well. It was a shootout. They did what they needed to do. They put up a winning effort. At some point in time, you say you put over 21 points on the board, defense should be able to hold it down. You know what I mean? But so they put points up. Those are some tough fumbles from Derrick Henry. Past couple games in the fourth quarter, momentum swinging fumbles, like something that's out of character for him, right? But if you see how it is, man, they're just popping the ball out. These defenders are getting more savvy, right? They're not just coming in trying to tackle you. They're coming in. They'd almost rather miss the tackle trying to pop the ball out. They'll run next to you just trying to wear the ball out before they actually try to take you to the ground. So these running backs really have to spend a little bit more time getting that Tiki Barber.
High and tight, baby.
High and tight. Put that boss up around that boy. Yep. Put it up under your neck. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Tiki Barber.
He toting that pill like
probably could have ran a little bit faster. But his butt was like, nah. They rolled the tape back. Go watch some Tiki Barber tape. When that boy was running like these, that ball was in, right? And then they come grab him and he'd hold on. Like, we got to get back to those days, man, because these defenders are getting savvy. But, yeah, man, it was a good game overall. I would have liked to see the Ravens kind of grind it out and pull it out. But Lions, man, they're tough. They're a beast. So, good for them, man. Good for Dan Campbell. And they're going to be all right. What you think?
Yeah, they're definitely going to be all right. But there's a lot of things that I would say about Detroit that they did that I was very impressed with.
For sure.
Their defensive front, they gave Lamar 6 sacks.
Seven.
Ooh. 7 of them things.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 total sacks on Lamar Jackson. That's almost, if you would have told me going into that game that they would have got 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson, I would say you crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like easily. I would have easily called the under on that one.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But to their credit, they did a wonderful job on defense. Each defender stayed in their lane. That's what made it really, really good for them. I'll tell you this stuff.
You said it right there. Stayed in their lane.
Yeah, you have to. You have to when it comes to Lamar.
That's a bottled up Lamar.
You got to stay in your lane. And when I was thinking about whenever Derrick Henry fumbled, and it's been like this in the fourth quarter, and I think about how Lamar Jackson is leading the league in passer ratings and completion percentage, and his efficiency is so great, and all that good stuff. But here's the thing. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens go as Derrick Henry goes.
For sure.
And it's nothing against Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, trust me, he's still the head of the snake.
For sure.
But when it comes to, like, the head of the snake in this sense reminds me of an engine on a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the full body, it's Derrick Henry. And so the thing is, whenever the situation that he's been in right now when it comes to getting these crucial fumbles in the fourth quarter, I know it's just so demoralizing for the team because it's at the wrong time. You're going against a team that's mirroring your skill set. You have Sonic and Knuckles in the backfield.
Oh, big time.
Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Big time.
you combine them together, you get a complimentary Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying. Now I'm not saying Derrick Henry
As
can
far
be like
as far as what you're giving them,
as far as what you give
yeah,
them,
you're giving them heavy dose of power and speed.
power and speed, bow.
Yeah, that thumping that lightning, man.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And in this case, David Montgomery ended up being Knuckles. He ended up taking over a little bit for this because he was grounding and pounding. But, when he had that 72-yarder, and you know what? And it was a beautiful run. It was a beautiful run. I was just thinking, man, I wonder when he broke.
Derrick Montgomery, nice.
If he would have stayed on that left side and trusted his speed, I think he would have been all right because when he boogied back to the right, he was back to more skill set defenders. Now, I know that DB was behind him like that, but I think he had the speed to go ahead and just take it into that back pylon, big dog.
He's got the speed.
Yeah. He take it to that back pylon.
The scary part about Detroit, and I'll let you finish. I'll just chime in on that David Montgomery. He's got the speed. I watched him at Chicago. Mm-hmm. Prior to that injury, he's got the wheels, man. He's a number one back.
Yeah, he is.
They got Jamar Gibbs, which is a hell of a weapon. That's a Lamborghini, you know what I mean? So good for the Lions. But David Montgomery got wheels and power. They just run him up the gut all the time.
Mm-hmm. And so whenever Derrick Henry, whenever he fumbled and they capitalized on it, all I was thinking was when Detroit marched the ball down the field again, and then David Montgomery, he broke off, I think it was like a 37-yard touchdown, something like that. I was like, he deserved it. He deserved it. I'll never forget whenever he ran that 72-yarder, he went out, Jamar Gibbs came back in the game. First play, or after that play, they called David Montgomery back in the game. He's gassed. He's winded. But he's like, okay, I'm going to go out on a little flare out. Obviously, it was an incompletion and stuff, but he came back out the game. But I know how it is as a running back when you ran a long run, and then you come out, you're tired, but then you have to go back in there immediately. You have to turn that switch back on, and just kudos to him having a good attitude. Yeah, it's like that's what he's supposed to do, but whenever you've been in the trenches and you've been in that type of situations, I was just thinking, whenever he scored that 37-yarder on the next series, I was like, he earned it from that long run that he had just the series before. And he earned it. And then all I was just thinking, I was like, Detroit is one of those type of teams where if you let them stay in the game, they're going to beat you. Now, to the point when it comes to how David Goff plays on Monday Night Football, his record is just the same as Lamar. They both are very victorious on Monday Night Football. So good energy there between them two. But, man, nothing against Detroit. Baltimore has been losing these games. But, man, Detroit got a good football team.
Got a good football team.
They do, bro.
They do, man.
They definitely do.
Big things coming out of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So we pivot, man. You see that Cowboys?
Oh, man.
And Chicago?
Yeah, it's so funny. Every time I watch Dallas and they play against teams, seems like teams' breakout games are always on the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is about teams, but it's almost like they just play the best. Now, I will say this.
You do.
That flea flicker that Caleb Williams threw, man, I was so happy for him.
Right.
Not gonna lie to you,
yeah,
because it's been some trying times these last couple of games.
Yeah.
So he's been doing a good job. But they got their bus whipped. Talking about the Cowboys, they got their bus whipped. They got whipped at the line of scrimmage. They got whipped in the secondary. I mean, they just and the thing is, I still am gonna stick up for Dak because he still did a great job, but his receivers was not catching the football. And then it didn't help whenever CD got hurt too. Yep. It was just kind of a disaster at that point. But to get whooped like that against Chicago, nothing against Chicago, but to get whooped like that, they're definitely going to have to address some things. They're definitely going to have to address some things on defense and offense, specifically in the secondary. You got to figure out that secondary. I know Trayvon Diggs is trying to get back right, but needs to get back right faster in order for them to kind of be able to be successful. Because right now what I see from Dallas is they can run stop pretty well. Pass rush is still kind of to be determined a little bit. They need to get either more aggressive with blitz packages for these DBs to kind of come off on the edge, or they got to be able to establish a little bit more dominance from their edge rushers. Because if not, DBs are going to have to play true, long-lasting coverage, defensive back style every play. And so what I'm talking about with Trayvon Diggs, how he has to get back a little bit faster when it comes to him being fully aggressive out there and to be able to sustain, he's going to have to cover longer
Mhm.
because of the lack of pass rush.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. Because he's a hell of a player.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be one of those type of things where they're going to have to figure out a plan when it comes to possibly adding more blitz packages because you got to get to the quarterback.
Yep.
You can't let him sit back there.
Great take. Great point. Agree with everything you just said. I think we know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Dallas Cowboys, it starts at the line.
Gotta
when it
have
comes
it, bro.
to any team, it starts and ends at the line, right?
Yes.
And if you don't have a strong line, then I hope that you have some elite all-pro DBs. I hope you have some elite all-pro linebackers if you don't have a strong line. Now, if you have a strong line, that'll probably make you some all-pro DBs and make you some all-pro linebackers because they'll be actually able to roam around in their assignment and actually just play free rather than playing cover-up ball because now we got to cover for 7 seconds, 8 seconds. Now he's rolling out, scrambling. Nobody's getting to him, so now it's extending these plays, and they got to run this way, that way. The receivers just kind of chop, chop, chop. And so, yeah. They need some help, man. We didn't know how it was going to pan out, if they're going to have some guys come in backfield. But I think we're seeing what dominance looks like, right? You can't take dominance for granted. It's not easy being dominant. So when you have a player that's dominant at a position, it's a reason why you have to invest in those players because everybody can play. But you might have a really good person on the defensive line going against another really good offensive line. And so who's going to win if they're both really good? But who's exceptional? And when you come across an exceptional talent, you got to hang on to them. We're just kind of seeing them figure it out. And, to their credit, it takes time to figure things out, right? Nobody expected that to happen. So now they have to kind of reshuffle everything on that front. But I think it starts with the front, ends with the front. I think that, they probably got some big bodies that can clog the line. So maybe that's slowing down the run game of their opposing teams that they're playing. But if you can't penetrate past that line and get to that QB and make him uncomfortable and make him tight and make him think twice and make him hesitate and put him in his head and get him rattled, then you're going to have a Caleb Williams in a developing offense in Chicago with a new offensive coordinator, new head coach sitting here putting up 4 touchdowns on you. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have a New York Giants where you got Russell Wilson rolling back time, going back 8-9 years, old Russ out there putting up 400 yards on you. You're going to have that when you don't have it figured out. So they got to figure out the defensive end. Offensively, they showed some good things in the first 2 weeks, so I'm not going to pin them on the wall offensively. It's bound to happen, especially when, the game kind of gets one-sided because you can't stop them. You know what I mean? So now you have to pass because you're kind of behind. You know what I mean? But shout out to Caleb, to your point, man. Chicago looking good. I think they needed that dub. They needed that moral dub. I like the locker room chemistry after the win. The coach in there with that energy and everybody, hey. And I saw Caleb actually speaking in front of the team, which shows a leadership, but you need your quarterback to be a leader.
Yes.
And if he's not, and if they don't respect him as a leader, then you're going to have problems. So I really like the camaraderie. And so the outcome, I think, is good for Chicago. I think Cowboys, we know they need things to work on, and they're going to have to work on it quick. Javonte Williams is a bright spot for them. He's running that ball hard, but he got to hold on to that rock.
Yeah, because
he got to hold that rock
dog.
because he works so hard. He looks good.
Yes.
But he got to hold on to that rock.
Man.
Because the one they fumbled was like a 25-yard run.
Yes. And it's almost like they just took it like taking like candy from a baby is the way they did it.
Tiki Barber, man.
Yes.
They gotta have back to that Tiki Barber, man. We seen these guys, they punching that thing out. But anyway, great game.
Yeah.
Great game. Let's swing it over to what you have, Green Bay?
Man, you got Green Bay, but really
Green Bay played Cleveland.
They did.
And got beat.
They did. And speaking of Cleveland, and speaking of edge rushers, and speaking of Dallas needing edge rushers, and speaking of Micah being at Green Bay right now, you see why Cleveland paid Myles Garrett. And they said, forget what everybody else thinks of us. We know we got the best non-quarterback football player in the game right now.
And he shows you.
He literally can do Euro steps around offensive tackles and get in the backfield within maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds, if that. It's ridiculous how fast his first step is and how balanced he is when he grips.
How low,
and he just dips on.
He's running in there like a panther,
bruh. I'm telling you. And so like, so looking at Cleveland, they have a great running back, Quinshon Judkins. He's been toting that pill. He toted that pill really well against them. Obviously, they don't have film on him, but you can see how he's a great replacement for the running backs they've had in the past.
Sure.
He literally fits the Browns mold in his style of run.
Yep.
So it's really, really good for him. They have to get a little bit better on offense. Obviously, Joe Flacco is holding the fort down right now.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. They have arguably, if not a top 5 defense in the league right now. I'd even say maybe even a top 3.
For sure.
They're definitely up there. If they get their offense rolling, it's crazy to say this, but actually it's not, because you got Myles Garrett and you got Denzel Ward. If they get their offense going, they're going to the playoffs. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just the truth. I don't see how you cannot unsee it. I can't unsee it.
If they figure out
it, like, based on what my eyes have seen, man.
And they got talent.
They got lots.
They got a solid running back.
Yes.
They got talented receivers.
Talented
and Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman. Okay? Those are talented guys. You got speed and you got size. And you got Njoku.
And Fannin, the rookie tight end. Yeah.
Come on, man.
They got some
On both sides of the ball, they have what you need. The only thing that they're missing is elite quarterback play, or at least above average quarterback play. And we've seen Flacco can give you that inconsistently, but he can give it to you. And so when we see him give it to you inconsistently, let that defense, that top 2 defense, hold it. Mm-hmm. They can win some games, and they better not let them figure it out, because Cleveland's not somebody you want to see.
It's not, and I think that the next 3 to 5 games are going to be very interesting, because if they get to rolling, but the offense looks bad, but their defense is just winning, helping them win, there may be a quarterback change. I don't know who may be in there, but if they realize that they can actually win something,
oh, big time. Yeah.